Hi, everyone. So today's energy is really great. I really enjoy Leo energy. It's very strong and it can really push a lot. So, sometimes if Leo is an energy that maybe doesn't feel good for you or you really have something you need to purge, Leo will really push that energy out. So we're going to move into Virgo tonight, so it's going to shift toward the afternoon. But um, I was just commenting on someone's post, and it triggered an idea to talk with you about guidance through the channel. And through the channel, I mean the inside voice, the host of assisted guidance through our guardians um, and through our mental thought processes as well. Like it's a whole unified way of communicating. Some people call it clairvoyance. Some people, there's a lot of different terms for it. For me, I like to refer to it as listening and mindfulness and sending and receiving of energy um, we can communicate with our channel and activate our assistance, and we can activate our activations just by giving the channel the awareness that you know that they're there, which is the surrenderance of the egoic self. It's to recognize that we are not the only beings here. It's a whole removing of the veil. And so when we recognize that, it's about energy and projection and mindfulness and, the connection that we're having with things that are happening on a molecular level, um, we get out of the way of the humanistic programming and we align with our visions, the channel of guided truths within ourselves, and we literally begin to activate our DNA, our molecular selves, on a higher level. Our brain frequency gets raised, so our serotonin and dopamine and oxytocin levels are all, raised. So it's raising the vibration as our vessels are being used as conduits to assist in the ascension process, which is the awakening and the event which is happening right now. This is why we're all having these conversations. Um, and so whenever I was commenting on a post, someone was talking about, needing to find a new job all of a sudden. And maybe it was time to find something new. And my response is that, yeah, when she recognized that happened in her life for a reason. It was a shift. And those types of things are happening to us in huge ways in our relationships with our family, our friends, our jobs, our coworkers, our children, our families. We're shifting and moving within all of these frequencies. So, when things like that happen, like, we have to change a job all of a sudden or whatever, instead of like panicking or being worried, that's a great time to sit and take a step outside of it and talk to the channel. And all we have to do is get quiet and clear the mind and project and think and receive what it is that we want, ask the questions, and then let it go. It's something I call like release and allow. It's like I embrace it, I see it, I feel it, and then I'm projecting it back in and out. And then go on about my business, go on about my way. And what I call energy sourcing, I let my mind source it for me. I put it out there into the ether, and then I go on about my way. And literally, sometimes within seconds or minutes or hours or days, boom, I get the answer that I want. And that allows us the space not to attach. It allows us the space to learn to trust our energetic flow and to align with our authentic selves. And doing that allows us to create that same space for those around us. And those around us may choose to stay in that space, or you may choose to leave, or whatever it may be. And so it's a process of mindfulness and being gentle, and pushing past the emotional, energetic, sensations of feeling fear. Like fear is a tool, just like the visions of the outside world. Those are tools for the inner world, our energetic, creative, passionate selves to be able to engage and align with ourselves and in a community that has the same visions that we have. And that's part of this whole awakening process as well. So, so what I'm getting right now is it's like, we can relate to it as prayer almost, like prayer with internal resolve intention. So it's not like you're just praying and praying and casting and casting and casting. You can cast and cast and cast all day with your thoughts, your words, because they are magic. But if we don't put in self-worth action behind it, then it goes null. We may see little sparks here and there, but that's not the reflection of energy. We have to put in creative, mental, physical action behind the thought processes of the way we see and feel things. And that is how we manifest. That is how we align with the visions that we already see. Like, really manifesting is a humanistic term, which is kind of from the ego, because when you align with the visions within you, you're not manifesting that. It already exists. You're just aligning with your twin self, your true nature. So, it's really even getting past the term of manifesting. It's just about aligning with what feels good for you and letting people align what feels good for them, and not trying to have expectation, not trying to tell somebody they have to do something, because what you see and feel is different from what someone else sees and feels. And the same thing with me. My level of mindfulness and energy projection is at a level that I am aligning with others in my physical and, my digital self, just like you. And I'm doing that more and more by speaking truth of what I see and feel and what I see and feel of others. And not having fear and pushing past it when I do. And so I say these things to you because I'm doing that as well. And so whenever we want to just get past all this humanistic stuff, that weighs us down, all we have to do is get past the fear. Okay, so Cynthia asked me, what is she doing with those movements? So Cynthia, last June of 2017, I was in Iowa, and I had a really huge shift of a download of energy there, and I was integrated in what some may call possession with my higher avatar self. And I am channeling my avatar self. It's of, it's of a native feel. It feels like I'm part Cherokee and Irish, but it feels more Hopi, but I'm not really totally sure. Sometimes it feels Hindu, sometimes it feels Egyptian. It's some sort of channeling of a high healer. I had a channeling done when I was in Pennsylvania, and I'm some sort of priestess that has done oracle work with royal bloodlines. So I don't really know. I don't really have one feel one way or the other. I just know that it's my conduit avatar self, and I move energy around on a molecular level. I activate chakras and align, and so I'm just evolving in my abilities as all of you are. And so I do these hand symbols, ancient hand symbols. I know what some of them are, but I'm learning to integrate with it. And so I'm sharing it more and more with you as I'm aligning with more and more, not many yet, but Megan and there's another, we have aligned that are experiencing these same channeling through, way shower movements. And, mine is on a really high level of integrative, magic energy work, Some could refer to it as Reiki, but on a very different level. So I'm still learning about it, so I'm just sharing it with you. So back to channeling, guidance. So if you feel like you can't get grounded in your energy, it's called self-talking. Like you're talking to yourself, but you're also talking to your channel. So when you shift your communication with your channel, you then become aware of your energetic self, which is higher than you, the human you thought you were. And it's this like magical relationship that I, don't have all of the answers for, but I see it every day and it's growing more and more. And I see it through synchronicities, through energetic pulls of just this knowing awareness that I have grown and am growing to trust more and more. I don't get a lot of mental visuals like a lot of you do, so I've had to really let go of the attachment to my humanistic questioning because now I'm just really tuned to the energetic pulls. Oh, that's another thing today. I spoke with someone this morning who has what I called, has received an accelerated activation. She was speaking to me of feeling these tugs of antennas in moments of truth, of what I told her is truth when she reads something or she sees something. And she has this knowing, this antenna signal that goes off, a physical feeling in our vessel that happens. And so what it is that as humans, we are conduits. There's the energy and there's water, and, we fire off these signals. And as our brain frequency is raised more and more, we tune in to a higher level of receiving energy. And that's the best way I can explain it at this point. And so our antennas come on board. Our, what some will call clairvoyance abilities, or, I don't really dive into labeling my energetic signals, so I don't know a lot of the terms, but like for instance, I will get these little pings in my crown that I call DNA activations. It's a moment, it's a signal letting you know that what you're thinking or hearing or questioning or feeling is truth. It's like a signal. That was the first one that I got turned on to. And so, but that also happens in other ways as well. I will get that tinging sensation if I pick up on someone's thought and my human will say, was that so-and-so's thought? And ping, I'll get the signal yes. Or if I send, if I am thinking of something and I go, oh, I wonder if that person got that thought, ping, it'll go off. So that's just one of many, many, many energetic signals that we have in our body. I have right and left ear fluttering that occurs. I have throat chakra activations that occurs on the outside and the inside, which are associated with coughing and sneezing a lot. There's a lot of things. I'll get heart palpitations sometimes. There's all kinds of ways to activate these things. And we activate these things by listening. And when we listen, that means we have to get within our own thought processes, the things that don't make us feel good, to push all of that stuff out of the way. So then we start to become more quiet-minded. That's what people call meditation. And so meditation is just mindfulness, like to be able to return to that place of quiet. It doesn't mean you have to sit in the dark or whatever, that's a tool, but true mastery is being able to achieve that when you're in a crowd, when you are so depressed you feel like you can't move, to be able to get right back center. That it takes practice, and it takes being gentle, and it takes being able to clear out the space of what doesn't feel good around you. It all happens at the same time through waves, and it'll feel great and high one day, and then it'll feel just like ego death, rebirth. Like you just want to die. And so, it's important to understand that those feelings are purges of emotions, of energy. And so, it's sometimes we can really feel those emotions stronger than other times. So it's important to understand that if you really feel those things like on such a deep level, to like get outside of it and just be like, ooh, no, like what is that? Like trick your mind, it's all about mind trickery. And the mind is so easy to do that with. And so the greatest mind that you can trick is your own, to be able to get rid of those things. It's called subconscious mind programming. And that's what's been going on. We've let the outside world do that. And now we can program our own subconscious minds ourselves. Because the subconscious mind doesn't understand the difference between a thought and a feeling, only what you and I put to it. So if you put good things and you program your subconscious mind to give you that flow naturally when you don't have to think about it, then you're in line with your higher self. And so my avatar self is agreeing. Throat chakra. And that's the great thing about speaking truth, writing truth, singing truth, making music of truth, drawing art of truth, or whatever your passion is, whatever your creativity is. Like, that's what's so great about just not even like putting focus on the stuff that makes us feel bad. Like, you don't have to focus on your pain if you don't want to. Focus on what makes you feel good, and the pain will resolve itself one way or the other. It'll keep coming up in your mind, but you'll be so focused on being happy that you'll deal with it so much quicker. Like, that's what I'm talking about. Like, that's the mind trickery. Like, we don't have to do anything we don't want to. Like, you don't have to deal with your pain. Just be happy. Focus on being happy. And then that stuff comes up. Like, that's how I do it. I mean, when I feel something bad, I grab it. But if I don't want to, I'm just like, oh, I don't want to deal with it right now. And I know it's going to come back. And I'll even say out loud, no, you're going to come back. I can't do it right now. Like, we don't have to do anything we don't want to do. Yep. Mind power, Maurice, 100%. And that's self-empowerment. There's all kinds of names for it. But it's really just knowing that you are the power that you seek in the outside world. And then we're able to attract that same power that we seek, that we no longer have to seek anymore because it's here. And then we start seeing the synchronicities like, whoa, okay, now that's a sign, probably should follow that. Even if it doesn't feel good, like sometimes we're like, oh, I don't know, but you really do. That's why I always say you already know, because we do. And, I go through, I call it a mind fuck, like sometimes I just go through it and I'm just like, I wish I didn't like have to question everything. And I wasn't so like in tune with not questioning everything, because it's a process. Like, it's okay to do that. And when I start to question everything, that's when I'm like, oh, it's not time for that. And I let it go. And then I get better at that. And then, it's really a cycle of not holding on to things that don't feel good. And that doesn't mean we have to like dive into it. We really don't. I feel like that gives a lot of peace. See how it like got me revved up, my energy? But it feels good, to be able to ground that energy back out. And, when we are getting in tune with our energetic selves, and we are encountering other people in the flesh and online and, wherever it may be, it's important to be mindful that not everyone is in the same progression of frequency receiving that you are. And then, being open allows us to meet people that can, that show us the way, that teach us things, because everyone is a reflection, whether or not, it feels good or not. It's about our reaction and how we flow and how someone energy gets us really revved up. I mean, I know I have to work on that, I have a really open channel and I channel with people instantly. So I recognize that's why I was a mess with people a lot. And so now that I have learned and I've practiced more and more, and I still am, to ground my energy when I'm engaging with another person, I remind myself, Lori, you have to set up that mental, energetic, consciousness awareness to have that openness to receive that energy because, you know, all kinds of beings have all kinds of different energies. So we get to choose how we want to engage. So, yeah, just wanted to say hi and um, sending you lots of love and energy. I love you to the moon.